Look at your CFU packet for 4.1. First problem here says student archaeologist. An archaeological dig turns up large numbers of pottery shards, broken stone tools, and other artifacts. Students working on the project classify each artifact and assign it a number. The counts in different categories are important for understanding the site. So the project director chooses 2% of the artifacts at random and checks the students' work. Identify the population in the sample. So one of the most important things to be able to do in Chapter 4 is to be able to identify these two key pieces. So our population, my apologies, let me switch to pen mode here. My population would be all the artifacts at this site. So all the artifacts, maybe we can say discovered at the dig, or at the site. And then the sample is what part of this population are they taking. He's choosing 2%. So those artifacts, I'll put it in parentheses here, 2% that are chosen for the sample. All right, number 2 does the same thing, just different context. So it says, a department store mails a customer satisfaction survey to people who made credit card purchases at the store. This month, 45,000 people made credit card purchases. Surveys are mailed to 1,000 of these people chosen at random. 137 of them returned the survey form. Identify the population in the sample. So the population here would be the 45,000 customers who made credit card purchases at the store. Then our sample, even though we sent out surveys to 1,000 people, the sample is actually the 137 customers who responded to the survey. All right, number 3, explain it to the Congresswoman. All right, it says here, you are on the staff of a member of Congress who is considering a bill that would provide government-sponsored insurance for nursing home care. You report that out of 1,128 letters have been received on the issue, of which 871 oppose the legislation. I'm surprised that most of my constituents oppose the bill. I thought it would be quite popular, says the Congresswoman. Are you convinced that the majority of voters oppose this bill? How would you explain the statistical issue to the Congresswoman? Okay. Well, this is what you call a form of voluntary response sampling. Okay. So let me just write that first. This is an example. Oops. EXAMPLA. Of voluntary response sampling. Okay. Oops, I should say sampling. There we go. Basically what's happening here is people who strongly feel one side of an issue or another are responding to this issue. Okay? So it's not the entire population, but only the people who feel strongly about this issue. So only people that feel strongly about this issue are responding, which is not a true sample of what the entire population may feel about the issue. All right, let's take a look at our next page. On the next page, it says online polls. In June of 2008, Parade magazine posed the following question: should drivers be banned from using all cell phones? Readers were encouraged to vote online at parade.com. On the July 13, 2008 issue of Parade reported the results. 2407, or 85%, said yes, and 15% said no. What type of sample did Parade survey of 10? Again, this is another voluntary response sampling, or a sample. Again, people actually have to go online and be willing to volunteer their opinions. Okay? So B says, explain why this sampling method is biased. Is 85% probably higher or lower than the true percent of adults who believe that the cell phone use while driving should be banned? Explain why. Okay? So we would definitely say that it is biased towards readers who feel strongly about the issue. Okay? So people who are responding to this issue feel strongly about it, and really only people who are responding to this issue feel strongly about it. Therefore, most likely 85% is too high of a percent that believe that cell phones should be banned while driving. This may be because they might know of someone who was injured in an accident where someone was using a phone. So because they know someone personally, it's more personal to them. And since it's more personal to them, they're going to more than likely go online and fill this out and say, yes, they actually support banning the use of cell phones. All right, number 5 talks about how do we actually conduct a sample. So it says apartment living. You're planning a report on apartment living in a college town. You decide to select 3 apartment complexes at random for in-depth interviews with residents. Explain how you use a line of Table D to choose a simple random sample of 3 complexes from the list below. Explain your method clearly enough for a classmate to obtain your results. So again, this is basically what we're going to look for, is I'm going to look for, are you labeling and are you tabling? So I'm going to start with labeling. So I might say something to the extent of this: assign each apartment a 2-digit number from 01 to 33 in alphabetical order. Then go to the random number table pick a starting point and pick, or maybe I'll say, and record three unique 2-digit numbers that represent our sample of 3 apartments or apartment complexes. All right. Note, just to note that numbers 32 to 99 will be ignored. So, whoops, sorry about that. So here are my apartment complexes. So now what I need to do, it says here, use line 117 to select those apartment complexes. So, and here, let me see if it moves it up here. First of all, I need to assign them in alphabetical order. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. So there are my assignments of the numbers. So it says to use line 117. So I want to switch colors here for a second. And I'm just going to list out here line 117 and start writing some of those numbers here. So it's 38167. That was 98532 62183. We'll see if I have to go any farther than that. So, according to my directions, I start looking at 2-digit numbers. 38 is not in my list, so I'm crossing it out. 16 is, so that's the first apartment complex selected. 79 is not one of the numbers I look at. 85 is not, but 32 is. So right now I have 2 of them. As I keep on going, 62 is not, 18 is, it's not one of the ones I've repeated, so those are my apartment complexes that are selected. So I want to know which they are. So the 3 apartment complexes selected are, so number 16, There is Farrington. The second one, number 32, Waterford Court. And then the last one, number 18, Fowler. All right, that ends your 3.1 worksheet. Or I'm sorry, not 3.1, 4.1 CFU.